who just finished a high-energy nightclub act at Les Mouches here in Manhattan. Would you welcome Tony Award winner Patti LuPone? Right here. What a pretty outfit.
Thank you.
This isn't costume from Evita.
No, this is a design by Richard Satley, and I'm wearing it in honor of him.
Very nice.
Thank you.
How long has it been now? How many performances have you done so far in Evita, or have you counted?
Well, we celebrated a year in New York City yesterday.
Right.
Which is, but it, yeah. Thank you. We had done 4 months before that in Los Angeles and San Francisco as a pre-Broadway tour.
Not only did I love the show, but do you know I love the commercials?
Oh, they're great.
They play throughout my show in Los Angeles, all of the time, and that is you, but you are not recognizable here in person from that commercial because you're so blonde in it.
Yeah.
And your hair, of course, is all pulled back. And
I'm generally not recognized from any roles that I play when I go out on the street.
Really?
Evita or things that are closer to what I look like in person. No, I don't know why. I think my features with makeup on stage give a different illusion than what they really are. And they're the same features, and I don't do anything to change them.
It's a high-energy performance like Jim Dale's.
Yeah, oh, yes, indeed. Yeah.
It must be exhausting to do that show.
Well, it's not.
Because it's also, it's the wrong word, opera.
No, it is. It is an opera.
Well, it is an opera, but I don't want to scare people off in case somebody doesn't like opera. It's also pop, because it gave us the great song, Don't Cry For Me, Argentina.
Yes, a modern opera. A modern opera,
yeah.
Popular. See, I wouldn't call it a rock opera, which is what the people call it. The music is not rock and roll. And it's an opera in as much that everything is sung except for about 2 words. But I understand what you're saying. People do get scared when the word opera is mentioned.
Right.
It's just that everything is sung in it.
Yeah, yeah. How long will you run in it?
Well, I've extended my contract, so I will be in it at least until January, if not till March.
Is this a time, though, in your career that you have to make a career decision, whether to stay with a show or now I want to head my life towards movies, or if I leave Evita, which has been so strong for me, will there be another part on Broadway that strong? I'm sorry I did that to you. Wouldn't that have been terrible if I asked that question she got ill?
Well, it does. It's ill-making. It really is.
Well, it must be a traumatic...
Every time, I think every actor goes through, will I ever work again, whenever they leave a show, whether it's Evita...
You're too strong a performer, and you play La Mouche and clubs.
But actors I have that fear that they will never work again, and I certainly have it. And as far as a career decision, I never think, I know it's a tremendous role, and maybe nothing like Evita will come around again in my career. Then again, maybe something will. But as an actor, I can't think in those terms, because then I'll never take another job. Because I'll be going, is this the right career decision, yada, yada.
Is this as good as Evita was?
Right, right. My goal is to remain the type of actress I was before Evita, which was a repertory actress and in a variety of different roles, comedic, tragedic, small, large. It doesn't really matter as long as the property's good. And my greatest thrill is performing. So.
Do you leave a little time to play? With engagements at your closing now at La Mouche?
Yes, which tomorrow night is our closing.
And Evita is taxing?
Well, as Jim said, that one day off. In theater, we only have 1 day off. In film and TV, you have 2 days off, right? Well, we only have 1 day off. And it's necessary on that day to completely debauch just for, you know, regular health reasons, but then revitalize again for the next week.
Now, how'd you make it to Romania? I read that you went over to Bjorn Borg's wedding.
Yes, I did. I had a week's vacation, and my friend Richard Wiseman took me to the wedding because he knows.
What was it like?
Well, it was magnificent in Paris. We went to Paris first, and then we went to Romania, and
Which is a communist?
Yes, and I had never been in a communist country before, and I expected, as we were landing, I expected to see our little working class, blue outfitted, yellow earphoned men, bringing the planes in. And as we were descending, I noticed the entire airport was being guarded by the military in full combat uniform. And it was frightening. I don't think Americans realize how lucky they are. We have so much freedom. We have so much freedom everywhere.
Well, what were the examples of no freedom in Romania?
Well, the fact that the military is constantly watching you. And as I understood...
Were they at the wedding?
Yes.
Well, Bjorn must have been a nervous wreck.
Well, I don't see. They were there to protect I believe, to protect the wedding guests and to keep the paparazzi away from them. But then it was on a little lake, and I couldn't. We were out rowing in the lake, and there was a military guy in a lone rowboat watching us. I thought, you can't escape it. They're on the water. They're every place. And as we were leaving, they called an LL airplane back, and as it was landing, a submachine gun on the back of the Jeep, and foot soldiers went running after it. It's a very oppressive environment. I understood that you can't speak a foreign language, because that means, if you're Romanian, because you're communicating with the outside world, you can't have any kind of foreign or Western material, and it's bleak. It's very bleak. I was very frightened by the whole thing, and I was very relieved to be out of Romania.
Let's get to Evita now. You're going to sing a song. Well, part of it is in the commercial we see every night on television.
Well, that's Buenos Aires. This is Rainbow High.
Right, but there's a piece of it in it.
That's just a little touch of star quality.
Right, at the end. Tell us about this song in Evita.
Okay. Eva has become First Lady. She's married Perón. Perón is president. She is First Lady of Argentina. She wants desperately to be accepted by at least one of the factions that will hate her for the rest of her life, which is the aristocracy. The military and the aristocracy won't have anything to do with Evita. And there is an honor bestowed upon the First Lady of Argentina. She becomes the chairman of one of the aristocracy's societies. Well, they objected to her background, and they would not give her this title. And she was very humiliated by it, and decided to take revenge on the aristocracy, so she planned her own tour to go to the heads of state in Europe. She went to Spain, where she was extremely well received, and the press coined this the Rainbow Tour, because she said it's said in different books two different things. She said it to Franco in one book, and she said it to the women in another book, that I do not come for an axis between our countries, and this was right after the war, but I come merely as a rainbow. So the press coined it the Rainbow Tour. She brought tons of jewels, tons of furs, and it's summertime, and she was standing on the balcony with Franco in a mink coat, and it's terribly hot outside, so she was dressed to the nines. And she was very successful in Spain. She was less successful in Italy. She was not successful at all in France. The press said that Madame Perón would look better as a piece of frozen Argentine beef than as she was dressed. Well, everybody was starving, and they're a very wealthy country. She was snubbed by the royalty. Then she took her side trip to Switzerland, and that's where they say she opened up her infamous Swiss bank account. And she had tomatoes thrown at her. And then she wanted to be accepted at Buckingham Palace. She wanted to be received by the king, and they snubbed her. They said the royal family is in Scotland. So she didn't even go to England. So she went home humiliated by the adventure. And then she smashed the aristocracy's foundation.
And put them in jail.
Put them in jail, and she formed her own foundation as revenge. The song is Rainbow High. And in the show, I get into it after having finished Don't Cry For Me, Argentina on the balcony. I come down, and they take off that glorious white dress, and I'm just in a slip, totally alone at the vanity. And you see this woman totally alone, no different than anybody else. But she's determined, so that's what prompts Rainbow High.
And here's Patti LuPone to sing it. Evita, Patti LuPone. And she's got to go there right now. Thank you. Come back soon. She is just dynamite in that show.